Ballyhoo Internet, it's the Ore Pig here, and today I wanted to talk about the differences between weightlifting, bodybuilding, and strength training. Okay, so the first one you got is weightlifting. Weightlifting is anything that you do in the gym with weights. Dumbbells, barbells, doesn't matter. Everything that we do falls under that umbrella of weightlifting. Okay, so if you want to say that you weightlift, then that's what you're doing essentially. That is the catch-all, is the weightlifting. All right. Bodybuilding is the individuals that we know of when you think of like Arnold and all these other individuals, you know, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath. All these guys are bodybuilders, okay? They build up their bodies. They build up each individual muscle so that you can see it better. They try to get as big as possible in the off season, and then when it's the season for bodybuilding, they cut as much fat as they can to expose each individual muscle. A bodybuilder not necessarily is concerned with strength. Now, don't get me wrong; these are strong individuals. They can push a lot of weight, but they're not going to push as much as somebody who focuses solely on strength. They're more determined to get the best definition that they can in their whole body, to be proportional, to have legs that are in proportion with the size of their upper body, their chest and calves. Everything's proportional, as well as showing each individual muscle. So being able to see clearly the little ball muscle of their bicep, being able to clearly see the tricep muscle, the deltoids and the different textures of it, those thin lines, thin serrated lines of muscle in the chest. That's what they're trying to do. So they work out in a different way because they're trying to hit each individual muscle to build it up so that they can get the separation in it. They're also trying to blow up this muscle. So a lot of times they're not looking to do heavy weight. They're looking to do a average to lightweight and just destroy the muscle as far as they can. So they pick up the weight and they go as hard as they can to destroy it. And when they're done with that, they drop down to another weight and just go as hard as they can, as long as they can. Because this is to absolutely break up that muscle as far down as you can so that it regrows itself bigger. So these guys can be huge and never actually be strong. All right, it goes against our definition of what we see in our mind when we think the guy who's the biggest is the strongest, and that's not the case. These guys blow up, but they're not necessarily the strongest. Then you have the individuals who are strength training. Now, a strength trainer, there's a myth or a biasness that if you're strength training only, or you're only concerned with strength, then you're going to be big and fat. You're not going to be able to show muscle definition, and that's not the case. These guys are going to show muscle definition depending on, you know, how fat they are, but you don't have to be fat just to pick up a lot of weight. It certainly helps with the growth of your muscles because you need that excess protein. So it's hard to find that balance to where you're eating enough to feed the muscle, but then not put on extra weight. And of course, it helps to have a little bit of fat. All right, no, we shouldn't be overly fat, but it does help to have a little bit of that subcutaneous fat, that thin fat between the muscle and the skin. That's okay to have. It's the visceral fat, which is the deep belly fat, that's dangerous for you, that has diabetes, okay? So that little bit of fat is okay. That's actually going to be good for you. And the only time you should cut is if you enter in the competitions or anything like that, which I'm guessing most of us are not interested in doing. So it's not that important to cut that out. When you're strength training, you're doing a high amount of weight for a low amount of reps, okay? So ideally, they say you want to work out 8 to 10. If you're powerlifting or you're strength training, then you're going more for 4 to 6 rep range, maybe even 2, okay? You're trying to push yourself and get used to lifting that max weight. And what that does, that breaks down the muscle, but it doesn't break it down so far that it's going to come back bigger. What it's going to do is it's going to break the muscle apart and it's going to come back tighter, okay? So you're going to be very, very tight. You're gonna have a tight body. Oh, you're tight. Yeah, you know that movie? Okay, so you're gonna have a tight body if you go for strength, and you're not necessarily gonna get big. You will get bigger than what you are, but you're not gonna blow up into these huge proportions like these bodybuilders that we see on TV, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and everything. You're not gonna get that big unless you keep on working out, and way down the line, then you're gonna start to see some size come. But even then, it's not gonna come as quick as a bodybuilder. Okay, so here's a guy working out with a lot less weight than you, and and he's getting bigger, he's blowing up, and you are using heavier weights than him, and you're wondering, why does this guy look stronger than me? Well, that's because you're doing strength training. So you're going to have tighter muscles, they're going to feel tighter, you're going to be able to pick up more weight. Again, going back to that motor analogy I used in my other video. When you're used to picking up that heavy weight, your body's going to adapt to be able to lift that weight. So the only way to get stronger is to pick up heavier weight. And as you pick up that heavier weight, hey, you know, you're going to pick up 225 and you're going to bench it twice. And you're going to do that for like a month or 2 months. And then eventually one day you're going to come in, you're going to be able to push it out for a third time. You're going to move up in strength. Whereas that bodybuilder guy, he's just going to put, you know, 185 on there, and he's going to make sure that he does it 12 times. And he's going to knock that out, and he's going to do 3 sets of that. And on his 4th set, he's going to do 185, and then he's going to throw the 25s off, and he's going to jump right back down with the 135, and he's going to push that as hard as he can, because he's going to try to develop the muscle to get even bigger than what it is. All right? So your strength training is good. It's important to be strong, but remember that you're not going to necessarily see those big gains. You also have to be careful when you're doing strength training, especially if you're going for your max, that you have a higher risk to injury with strength training than you do with the bodybuilding, just because of the amount of weight that you're picking up. Not that you can't get injured doing bodybuilding. You can get injured doing any of this, okay? You're using weights and tearing apart muscles and fibers in your body, so that's cause for injury. But in my opinion, you're a little bit higher risk when you're doing heavy weight trying to go for your max, and especially if you start to sacrifice your form to try to move weight. You should never sacrifice form just to move the weight. Keep your correct form, properly lift up the weight, and you're going to get stronger. So that's your difference between weightlifting, bodybuilding, and strength training. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you again. Hey, if you hung around, thanks. It's time for another What's on My Set List? So today's song is a very old song that I heard when I was a kid late at night on MTV, and that is the song Poem by the group Taproot. Okay, it's a heavy metal song. I enjoy it. I like this band. They didn't catch on. I bought their CD back when I first heard it, because I liked it so much, and there's only like 2 or 3 songs on the CD that I actually enjoyed, so I guess that's why they didn't take off. But check it out. It's a good song. It's good for working out. It's an awesome hard rock song. So I'm going to put the link to the YouTube video of it in the description, and thanks for watching.